I'm Maylin Miranda, and I came back from the dead to write books.
The Machine God is kind of a departure for me. It's a steampunk fantasy, and while I like to read steampunk, I really haven't been interested in writing it before now. The reason I have is a guy named Joseph Robert Lewis. He put together a collaboration where 3 other writers and myself created a world together. We call it the World of the Drifting Isle. The storyline is about a professor named Oladele Adewale, who comes from a warm tropical country called Jarrow, and he was a professor at the university there, and he's lost his tenure. He accepts a position in a city called Eisenstadt in the cold north of his world. And the University of Eisenstadt doesn't exactly fit with him. He is a linguist and a cultural anthropologist, and the university is primarily focused on engineering. The one thing that makes his self-imposed exile in Eisenstadt bearable is the mysterious island that floats about a mile over the city. As it happens, Adewale has spent his life studying world mythology about that very island. It's kind of an Atlantis. Some people say it's deserted, and some people say it's home to a race of peaceful, near-godlike beings who went up above the earth to get away from its wars. An inventor makes it to Inselmund in her autogyro, and she says that signs of civilization exist. So the government sends an expedition up, and among the members is Adewale, and he discovers not just civilization, but a powerful, forbidden fusion of metal and magic called the Machine God. Now, the Eisenstadt government wants it as a weapon, and so does a sociopath bent on ruling the world. But Adewale happens to be the only one that the Machine God trusts, and now he must protect the Machine God from the world, and the world from the Machine God. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the Drifting Isle Chronicles. It's a collaborative series. Charlotte E. English, Joseph Robert Lewis, Catherine Tomlinson, and I created the world. And you can read the novels in any order. The novels are Black Mercury by Charlotte English, The Kaiser Affair by Joseph Robert Lewis, Starcaster by Catherine Tomlinson, and The Machine God by me. Now, here's the funny thing about The Machine God. We put together this world by consensus, I guess you'd say, or by popular vote, really. Because I didn't want to have a machine god in our world. I was thinking to myself, what is a machine god? And I asked Joe, who came up with the idea, and he said, I don't know, but it sounds really cool. And I said, well, all right, I don't really like this idea, but I promised myself I'd just go with it. So I did. Next, we were deciding who was going to tackle these various elements, and everyone said, well, what do you guys usually write about? Does anybody write about mythology or religion? And foolishly, I said that mythology and religion are major themes in my work, and everybody said, great, guess who gets to figure out what the machine god is? Now, the funny part is that not only did I figure out what the machine god is, but I loved what I came up with, and ironically, my book is now called The Machine God. This pre-order Kickstarter will fund the editorial, artistic, and design work for The Machine God only. My team will be mostly familiar to those of you who've been with me in the past. The editor is Netta the Editor Ribkin. The book designers are 1889 Labs. And the cover artist is Elsa Kreese, a new artist for me, but not to others in the group. My budget is pretty modest, $1,500, and I'm hoping that you can help me by pre-ordering the book on this Kickstarter.